Welcome back to the first video, the first step of taking out a starter clutch out of a spare engine that I have lying around because I need to swap the starter clutch with the engine in the frame at the moment because that's giving me problems. Now I have this engine. This is a spare engine, and I'm not going to be using this engine because somebody actually installed extra foot pegs and connected them to the engine mounting points, one here and one over here, and here it just broke off the mounting point of the engine, and I don't really care to fix that. This is actually the engine that the Kawasaki came with. I'm talking about the Kawasaki with the red tank. And one thing I did forget though, before I took it out of the frame, is to let all the oil out. So I made a sort of a setup here, as you can see, and just raised it a little bit off the ground, just enough to get a canister underneath to let all the oil run out of the engine, which is happening at the moment. And after that, after all the oil has run out of the engine, I'll tip the engine against the wall, so I can easily get to the pan underneath and take the underside of the engine apart to eventually get out the starter clutch. So this is step one, as easy as you can get it. Anybody can do this. So let's now take the oil pan away. It's filled up now, and tip over the engine so we can get at the bottom. Let's get started. And although this was a very easy step to take, as you can see here, I of course dropped in the bolt. So now with a glove on, I'm going to find my bolt back. Here it is, discard of the oil in the way we all should, in a correct manner, and let's tip over this engine. Here we have the engine tipped over, and it's actually resting on these two pieces of wood, so that's quite stable, and against a piece of wood towards the shed wall, because I don't want to damage the valve cover, and it gives us easy access to the underside of the engine. So let's start taking off this pan. Now before we take off the oil pan, I'm going to take out the oil filter first. You need a 17mm wrench to unscrew the oil filter. Also simple to do, but be careful, there's going to be some residue oil still in the filter, and as you can see I already put an old piece of plastic underneath this engine to catch any oil that might spill onto the floor. I'm going to put the filter right away into a plastic bag to discard of correctly. So let's take out the oil filter first. Well, this is a good time to show you that when you need new oil in your bike and you're not exchanging the filter, the oil filter, for a new one, it's specified in the manual that you need a less amount of oil. Well, this is the reason. The filter, taking out the filter alone, and of course in the filter cup there's quite an amount of oil left, and this is the reason why when you don't exchange your oil filter you need a less amount of oil when you're exchanging your oil for your bike, and you need more of course when you put in a new oil filter. Now what I've been doing is actually soaking my oil filter, a new one, in new oil before installing it in the bike, just to make sure I don't have any problems with air pockets that I've had previously in one of my videos that I explained to you. So I thought I'd just show you how much residue oil there's still left in the engine. Right, a somewhat different camera angle. As you can see here, I've taken out the 15 bolts. They're a 10mm head for your socket, and work them all the way around. You can cross when you loosen up the bolts. All 15 have been taken out, so I'm now going to get a rubber hammer and carefully tap the pan and see if it comes loose. Right, well this pan is really stuck on the engine, and tapping it with a rubber hammer isn't really helping at the moment. Now there's something interesting here on this side of the engine, on the front half, there's sort of a lobe sticking out of this pan. And if it has a reason or not, I don't know, but if you very carefully put something in between the engine block itself and the oil pan, you can just carefully, very carefully, pry off the oil pan without damaging your engine. Well guys, here we are. Step 1. And as we can immediately already see, here we have our starter clutch assembly. This is one I'm going to be needing. Our oil pump, which I'll be taking out and saving just in case I need it on the other engine in the future. So this is step 1 for today, and I hope it was helpful. It's not the most difficult step to take, but it is a necessary step you need to take. So I hope it helped in the first stage of getting to the starter clutch. And I guess probably immediately tomorrow I'm going to do part 2. I hope I'll get it finished and actually to start taking off the clutch cover and the cover on the other side, because we have to get at this part here to actually get it out of the engine. But I'll show you that in the next video, and hope this was helpful and get you underway already. So look forward to the next part. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.